אני מקווה, I hope that you enjoy the replay of several of my old recordings. I have actually more than 1,000 recordings in this channel from the last 10 months, and in other from earlier I have many hundreds or thousands of more. So I don't know what do you find interesting. I understand that very recently we had new like subscribers to the channel. So if you have like something that is of particular interest, please mail me, and I will try to find the correct recording. And in the meantime, I will actually try to find something that I see fit, and maybe later today we'll actually create some new material because we are in the middle of very interesting sagas that we should complete. Especially the Ziggurat of Ur saga, the Three Sister Fairy Tale saga, and so we just completed the robot saga. And of course we need to complete. How could I have forgotten? We need to complete the energy saga. The utility saga, which is I promised. I'm in the middle of actual doing the construction that will. It's not a secret. The idea is of course the idea is to convert all plutonium and uranium on the Earth, processed and non-processed, initially I thought maybe like to just make it disappear, but it's not a good idea. I'll tell you some, I already said why, but never mind now why. So I thought maybe convert it to hydrogen, which is simple. It's simple to paint, to draw it. It's not simple, but makes more sense to convert it to 2093. What's the name? Neptunium? The 24 plutonium with the spaceships will lose one proton and one electron, and uranium will gain one. Hopefully this could be done with this fusion and how do you say bikua? I forgot the English term. Could be done without too much of or release of heat energy. Hopefully, both because might be a little problem, but anyway, and especially for people that they rely on energy and atomic energy. But you should have thought about it before you tortured me for so long. And again, as I said, the idea to use the 93 instead of hydrogen is kind of like to give humanity kind of like give humanity something like a backup plan, because inevitably you will not be able to use Earth. Earth will be doomed. And if you think that the Neros or the Cherubs will open the gate again, you live in a movie, as they say in Hebrew. אתם חיים בסרט. No, the gates are closed and they will remain closed until, a long time. It's not going to happen. Just so you understand, up to until this morning, I was still, received threat to my life, from the people in this hostel. I live as homeless in Tel Aviv, under court order. I cannot leave this place at all. And while I'm here, I'm being tortured. And you hear the drilling sound all around the day. So they want me to force me into mental institution, or this is still going on, and this is my life for so many years. So no, the gates are not going to open, and when we are done with that, there will be no more uranium, plutonium, and there are actually two kinds of people. At least in Earth, that listen to me right now. One kind is the one that thinks that this is ridiculous and it cannot be done, and it's just an empty threat. And the other type is the mostly Americans and Israelis and French people, but maybe others, that say, of course it can be done. It was already been done, but we found a solution to this problem. So why should we be worried? This guy is so stupid. He's reenacting things that his predecessor have done, during the 80s. So first of all, it was important to me to replay the 16th chapter of the bicycle saga right now that discusses. It's kind of the last chapter, even though of course, I mean, it didn't there was no happy ever after, but it was important for me to, I mean, at least, I mean, for the new audience, I mean, to like give you like kind of like a snapshot of the situation in during the 80s after the bicycle saga, and for the, I mean, like the older audience, like, I mean, like my loyal subscriber, I mean, just to give some kind of like refreshment, because as you understand, this is related to the energy situation right now. But I mean, certainly, I mean, no, it's not going to be the same as what already happened, but I will describe what exactly happened and what was the solution and what's going to happen now in a separate video that I will start very shortly after. Maybe I'll eat something, take something to eat or drink. Anyway, theirs will be doomed. But you can still use you cannot use the 93 Neptune or whatever, like, I mean, for power plants, and certainly not for atomic weapons, but you might be able to use it, like, I mean, for travel, like, I mean, you know, and at the same time, I mean, this is not the time for Nevuot Nechama while I'm still in prison, but, you know, I have a good heart, so I always think about maybe, I mean, there will be like one righteous person in Sodom. So, you know, let's just say that, I mean, hyperspace is, I mean, manifestly, like hyperspace jump, warp drive, folding space, it's reality. I mean, I mean, you know that it's reality because you follow the spaceships and the asteroids. So, I mean, yes, it's reality, and maybe, I mean, I actually think that the chances are extremely slim. I don't believe at all that it's going to happen, but theoretically there could be like a situation that, I mean, in 200 or 300 years, of course, the number of humans on Earth will be negligible. I mean, maybe only like millions, if not less, like I mean, you know, I mean, like, I mean, single digit millions or even less, but maybe, I mean, those people will actually change their ways considerably, even though, I mean, I cannot see how it's done. But I mean, you see, I mean, right now I'm being persecuted by the Israelis, and they want to eat me alive and to eat my children. But maybe, I mean, who knows, like in 200 years, 300 years, maybe these people will actually change their way considerably and will be in a place that they can, I mean, cooperate with each other and perhaps, I mean, impress like the cherubs enough to even receive some kind of, like, I mean, like help from them, even though now it seems ridiculous, but who knows. And yes, this 93 Neptunian thingy can, I mean, theoretically in few hundred years help the remnants of humanity to create the hyperspace drive that will be needed in order for them to survive, because they, I mean, once the gates are closed, and they are closed forever, it's guaranteed. And once, I mean, you don't have like nuclear, I mean, energy, and this will be, I mean, very soon. I mean, it's already the process that started during the 80s, and the process will soon, I mean, probably this evening, I mean, or tonight, I mean, it will be, I mean, completed, or at least, I mean, reignited. Maybe it will take a couple of days actually after, I mean, until it's completed. But I mean, I need to finish like the paintings. I mean, we need like, I mean, it's quite an hour with the painting, and I'm also going to use oil, and it will take me some time. So maybe it's only tomorrow, but I mean, I'll work, I'm doing everything I can like to continue. We also have, like, I mean, we need to have paintings of Orin and Hila, which are important for the construction. As I said, we need, like, I mean, to take care of not only like the atoms, like the atoms that are, I mean, you know, they symbolize the raw material, but we need also to represent, I mean, to represent, as I said, Orin and Hila, and to represent the processed material. We have quite a bit of like such representation in clay sculptures, as you see the rods and the uranium like tablets, and I mean the plutonium like, I mean, constructions. But I mean, we need to also represent it in paintings, and then the process will be completed. I mean, at least reigniting the process will be completed. It might take a few days until, I mean, it actually, I mean, happens. I mean, so the people that are really new to this blog and know nothing about anything, I mean, so you are under attack by an alien species that is I call the cherubs. They are extremely sophisticated aliens. They follow humanity and also the Venusians. I mean, for a long time, like a long time. And of course, they are benevolent and they believe in God and they are good people. And during the 20th century, in the 21st century, the major source of contention between the cherubs and their messengers and the people of the earth was the way that the people of the earth treated Venusians. This was the main problem, but it should be said that it wasn't always like, I mean, the kind of like, I mean, the topic of the relationship. I mean, there were all sorts of like, I mean, prophets and messengers and cherubs, like, I mean, that lived in earth in all sorts of cultures, I mean, throughout like the history and even prehistory of humans, and mostly this, I mean, they did not occupy themselves with the issue of the Venusians. I mean, the Earth and Venus, I mean, the gates are ancient, and they were used like by various civilizations, including, I mean, the old kingdom of the Egyptians, like 5,000 years ago, but they were always used until the 20th century very, very sparsely. I mean, it wasn't like a major factor in the history of humans. Not at all. Like, I mean, in all, like, I mean, the recorded history, I mean, like, it was never a big issue. Probably because, I mean, throughout this time, I mean, it was always true that the Terrans, like the people of the Earth, were much more advanced, both, like, I mean, from, like, I mean, technological, I mean, so it's a question here in technology. So, I mean, but both, I mean, from, like, I mean, their understanding of science, technology, and also their social structures were always more complicated. That's why, I mean, the enslavement is always, like, one-sided. It should be said that, I mean, obviously, and manifestly, evidently, I mean, the Venusian society is a post-apocalyptic society, and this can be deduced by the physical nature of these people. I mean, and I mean, I spoke about it quite a bit, so I cannot, like, I mean, TLDR everything like in 1 minute, but they are not robots. They were not created in a factory in Earth, and they were not digged up from the ground in the Earth, like all sorts of like ridiculous. They are not dinosaurs and they are not fossils. They were kidnapped from Venus, mostly during by Israelis between 1940 and 1970. And I mean, the discussion of this kind of like epoch, I mean, was done in Bicycle 201 saga, the saga that you just now listened to its concluding chapter. Anyway, the Israelis are torturing me, and they took my daughters from me, and they tried to kill me, and they infected me with diseases. So the cherubs they had enough of humans already, and you started the war with the cherubs, and now the starship of the cherubs, I mean, they reached Earth, and they've done it like they are immense. Like, I mean, they are something that you cannot even see in your like science fiction like movies or video games. I mean, because mostly people don't have enough imagination to think about such big ships, and also because, I mean, they don't have enough like I mean, you know, budget for special effects. I should just say that these starships were. I have seen many kind of paintings and all those sculptures of them, but they are actually outside, like on the window, and I don't want to open it right now. It should just be said that, I mean, these kind of like starships, I mean, are, I mean, made like to be able like to participate in battles where they need to acquire billions of targets in a matter of seconds and annihilate the targets in a matter of seconds. I mean, it's nothing like, I mean, it's nothing like anything you've ever seen in any movie or video game. Like, I mean, it's not even in your horizon of, like, I mean, imagination. I mean, the duration that is required in order for them to destroy every human on Earth is probably considerably shorter than a second. That's the situation. It should be said again. I mean, I cannot repeat everything, but I mean, the major kind of like, I mean, the executive summary is that one such ship already is in close. I mean, close is a matter of kind of, low Earth's orbit is kind of, a matter of definition. It's not very close, but it's, it's not, it's relatively close. I mean, it's after like a jump, like upper jump, because these people did not, they were not originated in the solar system. In your solar system. So I mean, one ship already made the jump. I don't know exactly when, but approximately 100 years ago. Like, during the 1920s or the 1940s, something like that. And this ship, contributed to cycles of radiation events that, but I spoke about it so much I cannot repeat everything. But this was a known phenomenon for many, many years. And very recently, in the last couple of weeks, more ships are coming. I don't know if like there are 5 or 10 or 20. I don't get updates from the captains, and I don't need to. I am a prophet, not an admiral. But these people, they know what they're doing. You can ask, why do they need like so many ships? Why one is not enough? So one is enough. The assembly of the fleet is a symbolic action. One of many symbolic action that the cherubs are doing in order for you to understand that this ship is not there in order for kind of like a very long refueling, refueling session, or kind of maybe they went fishing. And it's only by accident that they like to fish like close to Earth. No, they are hitting the Earth. They contribute to global warming. They protect, sensitive objectives, people mostly, in the last 80 or 90 years, and now they destroy the Earth. They can do a lot of things. Mainly, what they can do is, very shortly, it's not about so much, but very shortly, they can do many things. They can throw asteroids, and they've done it already, not only on Earth but other planets as well. But the basic things that they can do, and most relevant to your situation, are the following. First, the cycles of radiation. This is their main weapon. It's done for like at least 90 years, something like 90 years. And the people that are most affected are the ones that have they've eaten the drug, the tea, the kind of like a robots that came from the body of Venusians. And I spoke about a lot of, there's so many like audio already, so just listen to it. Also, they can create, they can energize these robots. They can supply them with energy in a similar way to the way that I energize the robots inside, like in the laboratory settings, using electrolysis. The magnetic core of the Earth, is kind of like, it's like the magnetic, bottom of the metal electrolysis chamber that I engineered. But this is a huge scientific issue. Never mind. The important thing is that they energize the neurons so they can create worms inside your body, like the people that ate these things. So they can create worms inside your body, and that's what they're doing. It's already being done, but it will be continued to be done. And they also hit the Earth. Global warming. And another thing that people ask, like, how can they hear me right now? Some people ask, how can they hear me? So this is, of course, related to the bicycle mechanism. That is a major topic with regards to the nature of the Venusians. Again, I'm not a Venusian, I'm a cherub, I'm a different person. I have other types of robots in my body that I call them the yellow neurons. I coin this term. And female Venusians have like what I call red neurons, and male Venusians that are unfortunately very, very uncommon, very rare, they have brown neurons. And the yellow neurons are tremendously superior to the red ones in many ways. But still, the red and the brown ones are very complicated works of engineering. And of course, this is what I was beginning to say, that even that alone is kind of like a conclusive proof that this is a post-apocalyptic society. It's not like Paleolithic humans that presumably never kind of reached that they just evolved using natural selection. There was something some other process contributed to them being where they are in the condition that they are. Or in other words, they are offspring of survival, so people that survive in the apocalypse. Now, the nature of the apocalypse, yes, I know it, and I was beginning to to describe it in a series that I call the Three Sister Fairy Tale. I already recorded 3 hours, and there is something like 2 hours left. That I kind of like abandoned this project the last 2 or 3 weeks because I didn't I felt like a lot of disappointment from like all this kind of like cruelty that I'm subjected to, but it's very important. So maybe I'll find like the energy to continue this fairy tale, and like because it's a fairy tale that it's a kind of like a dramatic representation that deals with ancient that is strongly related to the history of Venus, but also to the history of Earth, actually, not just Venus. So the bicycle mechanism allows these robots to work in tandem in a very sophisticated way, not just by simple imitation, but high level cooperation or high level imitation. So the spaceships are contributing to the energy that the neurons inside your body now have, and so we have more. So the neurons in your body have more energy. So what kind of creatures have the neurons in their body? So first of all, Venusian females, if they received like the yellow neurons from me, this is kind of like the equivalent of the natural way that it's done in Venus. Kind of like, even though it wasn't done in natural way in here, but in kind of part of cruelty and torture. But in any case, this facilitates the creation of the red neurons inside their own bodies, and these red neurons are kind of like the family of my own yellow ones. So they kind of like the bicycle applied to them. So while if my neurons they listen to something, it's not always it requires an energy that is now available by the starship, and it requires all the symbolic commands and all sorts of other stuff. But this is the short description. So because I hear something, you also hear the same thing. You that have the robots that they belong to the family, like my family. And what's happening right now is everybody in Earth that probably almost everybody, or even everybody that have like any kind of neurons in their body, whatever species it is, they belong to my family because of this bastardization that happened. Throughout my life, and certainly in the last couple of years, that it was stolen from me, because Homo sapiens people, men and female, they like to take the drug from like the red neurons that they call the P or the T. It's taken from the fluids of the body of the female titans, the Venusians. I call the Venusians titans many times. So they take the drug. So now they are also now belong to my family. And since the 70s, it's almost impossible to find Venusian male on Earth. What actually happened is that I don't know how many, maybe hundreds of thousands, or even millions of people all around the world, and especially in Israel. They, from biological perspective, they belong to my family. And we are all family, which means that our robots act in tandem. You can also torture me, and many Israelis are aware of this possibility, and they actually do it for many years, using the same bicycle mechanism. You can torture my auditory senses or my visual senses, or even like electricity in my body by manipulation of your own robots. And the Israelis are very they do it all the time. But luckily, thanks to God, even though it's cruelty, I am less affected. But since I have much more neurons in my body, significantly more, probably kind of billion times more than kind of any piece of shit Homo sapiens that have eaten the P or T of its Venusian slut. So it's torture, but I learned to live with this torture. It doesn't kill me, or it doesn't drive me insane. Of course, the other way around is extremely more powerful. But I never use the bicycle mechanism in order to affect any single person, because this was something that I understood from God very early, that it shouldn't be done, because it doesn't make sense to deal with microbes. And I should understand and acknowledge the fact that I'm a cherub, even though a cherub in captivity that is poor and humiliated and sick and tired and tortured, but still a cherub. And cherubs I mean, and I should acknowledge these facts, and so that was, I mean, what God told me, and I acknowledged the fact. And one of, I mean, the consequences is that, I mean, cherubs do not deal with microbes. I mean, it's not the way that it's, I mean, God does not, that doesn't want the cherubs, I mean, to like, I mean, to waste their, like, you know, their time on microbes. We deal with societies, societies, planets, mostly planets, but sometimes societies. I can tell you that in the kind of situation, all the cherubs, I mean, are in one mind. I mean, they all interpret the situation in one like way. I wasn't even sure about it, like in the beginning of this journey, like 4.5 years ago, like whether we should understand the situation as kind of like a planetary issue or like a societal issue that, I mean, maybe perhaps like the planets, I mean, you need to take, I mean, to, or in simple words, I mean, should we, I mean, it was a major topic in my journey, in my artistic, like, and prophetic, like, I mean, journey. I mean, what's the importance of flags, of countries, of states? I mean, so I thought about it a lot, and you can find it so much in many of my recordings and much of my art. But I mean, at the end, well, the question was very complicated and took me a lot of time, like, I mean, to digest. The answer is very simple, and I mean, first of all, the cherubs, I mean, they are, I mean, in one mind, I mean, and if they are, I mean, I respect them and understand that they are smart, and if they are in one mind, I mean, I will not, like, I mean, try to object. And second, I mean, I also understood after some time that, I mean, this is the correct opinion. And the opinion is very, very straightforward, that this is not a societal issue, this is a planetary issue. Which means that they don't know what is Israel, they don't care what is Israel, they don't want to hear the word Israel at all. They came to the blue planet to rescue, I mean, to rescue the representative and his daughters. And if, I mean, the people of the blue planet, the planet, refused to, I mean, to release, like, the representative that they captured and his daughters, I mean, the implication is very, 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 very simple, which means total annihilation, like 8 billion or whatever, how many bacteria that you are here, ages 0 and above, I mean, just, I mean, total annihilation. It's for you, it's the apocalypse. For them, like for the captains of the starships, it's Tuesday. I mean, there are many sentient creatures in this universe, and I mean, that's what they do. That's their job. I mean, to clean, I mean, disgusting petri dishes from time to time. So, I mean, maybe you will find it hard to believe, but I mean, in kind of like, I mean, in a galactic scale, and certainly in the scale of the universe, it will not, like, I mean, the annihilation of all humans will not be like, I mean, like a page one news event, kind of like, I mean, in like, I mean, theoretical, like, galactic newspaper. Might not appear in any newspaper at all. It's nothing. It means nothing. It will have no meaning at all. No philosophical meaning, no religious meaning, no theological meaning. It will mean nothing. Nothing at all. No one cares. No one will just, I mean, it will mean nothing. And you need to understand it. Not because, I mean, these creatures do not understand, I mean, what's religion. No, they believe in God and they have their, I mean, religion, and they contribute tremendously to the development of religion and philosophy in Earth. But you need to understand there are many sentient creatures in this universe. Many, many, many. Life is very common, and I mean, the complete annihilation of disgusting sentient species that, I mean, could not, like, live in peace with other species is very common occurrence. It happens all the time, and you need to understand that if there weren't the cherubs that manage this kind of events throughout the history of the galaxy and even the universe, like, creatures like you could not have, like, developed, because you were, I mean, like, I mean, because, like, other, like, predatory animals like you would have been rampant in the galaxy, and they would have, like, enslaved you and eaten you long ago. The fact that you had, like, the opportunity to actually evolve and develop and develop a culture, I mean, a very disgusting one, but still a culture. This fact, I mean, is because of the fact that, I mean, there are no predatory animals with like with space faring capabilities that could have like destroyed you before you even started to develop. And this is not it's not something that happened by mistake. This is part of the mission of the Kerbs for a long time to to allow species to to evolve and to develop their culture and technology. Using of course they do not believe in the prime directive of Star Trek. They do interfere, but in very gentle ways, and mostly in things like that are kind of like they believe in any way, not in kind of like in authoritative like condescending way, but mostly you had your opportunity to develop, and this is because the galaxy is clean from predatory scumbags, and you decided to become a predatory scumbag. And now you need to understand that the same people that allowed you to develop by eliminating predatory scumbags are now eliminating you. You need to understand that it's very simple logic, and this will not it will not be the end of the world. It will just be procedural event. That's reality. It will mean nothing at all. It will mean nothing. This is reality. This is reality. It will mean nothing. The annihilation of all humans will mean nothing. It will have no meaning. It will not disturb like the galaxy at all. No one will care. No, and again, the phenomenon of life as was demonstrated and proven in this channel many times in the most rigorous ways. The phenomenon of life is much wider and more diverse than anything that almost all humans ever imagined. Forget about the Drake equation. Forget about the Goldilocks zone. Life can be developed both like by natural selection and by kind of like a quicker engineering process, like, or terraforming, you should say, in many different environments that you don't even dream of. Like in planets that are dramatically different than Earth. Even though it should be said that Venus is very similar to Earth, besides the fact that the spin is very slow, so the nights are and the days are very long. Like the day is longer than a year. So again, like all the new people, if you have anything that is of particular interest, I will almost certainly have like a recording that will answer your question, because I have like 1,000 recording now only in the YouTube channel. Of course, many of it belongs to scientific issues, but maybe you're interested in that as well. But we have so many stuff regarding history, science, politics, religion, whatever you want. And maybe I will even, if I see that like I have good advanced like rapidly with the construction of like the atomic symbolism, I will perhaps like record even new material today. What's on my mind is, first of all, the energy issue that is related to this construction, like the fourth chapter of utility 101, like Nero utility, Nero's 101 saga, and also maybe I'll have the energy to continue with the fairy tale. So that's all for now.